What we must understand is the Fulanis are intentional in their conquests. They can never be mistaken for it. And I'll give you a proof. The Fulanis are intentionally with Islam, jihadism, conquest, conquering people, taking people's land. They are not shying from it. El-Rufai, Bashir El-Rufai, the son of Nasir El-Rufai, who we can as well say he is Malam El-Rufai spokesperson, came out and said that any man that dares challenge a Fulani man will be unalived. He said this and he mentioned a specific region in this country. He said Southern Kaduna will be wiped out because they continue to kill, to unalive Fulani elders.
And he was not called for questioning.
I have told you that these people are intentional. And they became intentional the very first day Usman Dan Fodio stepped his foot into Nigeria. In 1804, he told them, he gave them a marching order. He said, listen, Nigeria is your estate. So therefore, you must take power. When the British were about to go, the British saw the intentionality of the Fulanis. He said, listen, guys, you have to occupy the Nigerian military, you have to occupy the Nigerian Air Force, you have to occupy the Nigerian police force. Because we know that you people are intentional about power. Have you checked the records? Before you count one Yoruba man, you don't count 10 Fulani man. Before you count one Igbo man, you don't count 30 Fulani man. So, when 30 elders who are uneducated on a large scale, but wielding an AK-47, tell me what your pen wants to do. They go, don't buy you finish before you go talk, say you be educated man. The Nigeria contraption has been tailored, fashioned, okay, to benefit these people. And that is why a man has just been sentenced to death. You know his offense? A Fulani man with a cattle invaded his farm. He saw the man. He said, "Hey, what did you do for that? You didn't chop my corn." He started fighting the guy. Then the Fulani man brought out a cutlass. As he wanted to cut the guy's head, the guy dodged it, collected the cutlass in self-defense, unalive the Fulani man. All of this was well taped and recorded. The Nigerian judiciary system said that that guy should not have defended himself. That if at all, he should have run away, allowed those cattle to eat the corn. When you ask me questions like this, it only shows that you, as a follower of Biafra, should never relax. You should understand that when you begin to challenge the Fulani hegemony, there's only one fate that awaits you. Total annihilation. The Southern Kaduna people know what they saw in the last 8 years of Nasir El-Rufai and Muhammad Buhari. They know what they felt and what they got in Middlebelt. The Benue and the Plateau people, the Lantang, the Bokos, all of them, they ran. Fulani men were now renaming their villages. Villages that were bearing Christ is the Lord. They changed it to Uthman. They changed it to Muslims' names. And the Nigeria as a republic is helpless. You asked me a question. You said, is Bashir El-Rufai, has he been apprehended? Who won't touch him? Say na the Fulani brother where the police won't go arrest him. Or say na the Tinubu where be say na Fulani man put him into position. One say, oh, yeah, go and arrest him. We have to be clear. Nigeria belongs to the Fulanis, for the Fulanis and by the Fulanis. When the Fulani man does one and goes away with it, don't try, you a Yoruba man or an Igbo man, don't try and do half. In this same country, they'll tell you that a repentant bandit, Lakurawa, ISWAP, has higher chances to become the president.
Which is a Fulani terror group.
You know. It is now their trade in stock. Nobody follow them drag them. As nobody they follow people man drag spare parts. Right now, banditry kidnapping is for the Fulanis. In the last 10 years, one of the most lucrative sector in this country is being run by the Fulani elders, which is what? Kidnapping, banditry, insurgency, gun runnings. That they said the soldier came, the army, a general came, he said, a Fulani man, we don't have to buy them, you know. All we have to do is just demilitarize them, we rehabilitate them, then we can reintegrate them back into the Nigerian soldiers. In fact, we can still put them into the Nigerian politics, wherein they become the Nigerian president before a Mazin Namdekano, who has never wielded a gun in his life. Before a person like you and I. So what I tell you is that as you and I are, if you go into the political arena, a repeated bandit, we don't buy so many people, they go vote for them.
Now, considering the movements and coalition by the eastern and southwestern governors to fight, to forge a common front to fight this ISWAP and terrorist influx in the southwest, could it be said that it is a failed attempt since people under their watch is being rounded up and killed, communities, several communities, sacked? I mean, what exactly does it mean? There is no hope for the European nation?
Well, talking of, limiting these conversations to the Western region is a disservice to the collective suffering of the Southerners. And when I'm talking about the Southerners, I mean the Niger Deltans.
Yes,
I
even the
even, I
southeast.
even mean,
See what is
yes,
happening in most recent time.
even in the South.
Women are being raped.
Hamufu,
Even women.
Hamufu. Some women came out in Ebonyi and Enugu State specifically to protest heavily that Fulani are raping them. In the Ondo, the Fulanis have come out to emphatically state that the forest of Oyo belongs to them. It is their ancestral right now.
Oh my God.
Nobody can recover it. He got to a point, Shoima Kide said that, hey, these bandits are just 8 kilometers away from where I am residing. He went to commission a road around Okeogun, Barakpa. These are places that share boundaries with Ilorin and all that. Then the bandits were just 8 kilometers away. He had to run. He couldn't commission that road. What does that tell you? This is beyond whether the Yorubas, but again, I understand where you're going because the leaders of the Yorubas political structure are myopic people. Likewise, people like Peter Mba, Francis Nwafuru, people like Uzodimma, likewise, people who are in the Niger Delta, okay, they are all being, they are being manipulated by these Fulani people. I don't know how they do it, but it is so sad that we in the South, we claim that we're educated. You and I can agree, right? We know that these people are not supposed to be worked with. The Yorubas pride themselves to be the most educated people, which I have been questioning for the past 2 years. I have done so many programs on your channel that I question my Yorubas who could be listening to me that are we truly the most educated? Because we are not acting what we say. But that's aside. Despite our level of education, how come these people who are charlatans, who are non-entities, who are destitute, who are illiterate on a massive scale, who they cannot compose one paragraph?
Majority of them, but not all.
Yeah, majority of them. Yet they rule over us. It is unthinkable for me. It is more like a spell. Because these guys, when we catch them, when we unveil the mask, it is a full animal. Not on one occasion, on multi occasions. Not one, not 10, not 20. Nnamdi Kanu said it. The Fulani man responded that anybody that releases Mazin Nnamdi Kanu has committed treason against the Fulanis. You know what that means? Do you know what that means? That anybody that released Nnamdi Kanu has committed treason against Fulanis, not against Nigeria. It means that the Fulanis comes first before the Nigerian Republic. Thank you very much.
Sorry, before you leave, that the forest of the Oyo belongs to the Fulanis. Are the Yorubas accepting this defeat?
Well, I have to tell you that the Yorubas, most especially around that communities, I think they are beginning to accept their fate, because most of them are going through what we call diplomacy association. They know them, but they're not challenging them. They are not taking the fight to them. Perhaps it will get to a point when the Fulanis will begin to sack the traditional rulers, and maybe when they start installing the emirs like they did in Ilorin, then they will rise. The last person who tried
Won't
to,
that be too late?
the last person, of course it will, but the last, and this is my state, by the way, the last man who tried to rise up, we know what the Fulani elders leader, Buhari, who said that Fulani elders have every right to wield gun because they are global citizens. He said that they have to wield their gun because the animals that they work with is expensive, and they have to protect themselves against cattle rustlers. When he was questioned, that was the response of Buhari to the press people, that I have right, that my brothers have right to carry AK. But the man who has a farmland, who has a cocoa plantation, a cassava plantation, a maize plantation, has no right to wield a gun. The Yorubas have to, take up this challenge, because the Fulanis did not hide it when they said it. Oh.
Exactly.
They said it openly that the forest across the borderlines of Oyo is their ancestral land. We have to rise. Because if I do not say it, if I do not challenge them, my fellow brothers, that we are sleeping on fire, these people are not sleeping. The same thing they said they want to do in Andoni. This is the borderline between Enugu and where? Benue, southern Benue. Go to Ebonyi around the Afiko side, Ehamufu side. This side share borders with southern Benue. The same thing they said they were going to do in southern Bauchi. Today, southern Bauchi is no more a Christian area. Bauchi used to have large population of Christians.
Of course.
I dare you to go check it out. So it is a serious thing. The Fulanis are intentional, and at this time, all we need to do as Southerners is to read the Riot Act against these marauding Fulani elders. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let me tell you that the Fulani started terrorizing the Nigerian state very day called 1804. This was the day they started the Fulani conquest, the Fulani Jihadism, and ever since then they've never set back or lay down their tools or their weapons of war. Let me tell you, the Fulanis have always been the menace, the threat against the developmental strides that Nigeria should have recorded since the 1960s. Are you aware that Nigeria would have gotten our independence even as early as 1950? It was the same northern Fulanis that said that no, that we are not ready for independence. That because the South are too educated, they are well ahead of us. Because as at then, the Igbos dominated, and then the Yorubas were also very involved in the civil service, in engineering, in education. Because as at then, we started recording professors in the West. We started recording lecturers in the East, but we do not have one single lecturer from the North. And the Fulanis, because of their own selfish interest, said that Nigeria should not gain independence, that the colonial masters must not give us independence, until they now went back, our forefathers, who today I cannot call them heroes. They went back to have a negotiation with their, what's it called, Amadu Bello and Co. The Sardauna, they went to have a negotiation, and they told them that condition, that the only reason that they will support Nigerian government to have independence is the Fulanis must always have an upper hand, and it must be documented in the constitution. And that is how we had Sharia involved. That is how we now had that the northern region has about 19 states, while the south has less than how many? 15. The south together has less than 15. That is why in the House of Assembly, the North has the largest number because they have planned this, and it is since 1804 these are started. These are people that were not originally Nigerians. These peoples were invaders. We can see that today they've invaded the peace of the common Nigeria. They have stolen the peace of the Middlebelt. Now they are terrorizing us in the south, in the southeast. Some days ago they attacked Eyamufu. Some days ago they attacked in Ondo. Some days ago they even attacked in Auchi. Also they attack in Bokos in Plateau State. Everywhere there seems to be an unrest. And when you ask that simple question, you type it on your Google, who is the major cause of insecurity in Nigeria? It will show you Fulani herdsmen.
Are they ordinary herdsmen or hiding under the disguise of herdsmen, but they are malicious, trained for the same purpose?
We can no longer categorize them as Fulani herdsmen because the United States, there's an agency of the United States that do the categorization of terrorism group. It has categorized the Fulani herders or bandits as the fourth most deadliest terrorist group in the whole world. And yet we have a situation whereby a governor has come out to tell you and I that Fulanis are the one occupying the forest of the Nigerian territory to keep it safe. He was asked a question on the national TV. Bala Mohammed was asked a question that, are you telling us that all the Fulanis in West Africa are Nigerians? He said the Fulanis are global citizens. That if a Fulani man comes in Nigeria, that how would you know that he's not in Nigeria? That they are welcome. That in fact, they want the Fulanis to have the greatest success story by taking over the Nigerian states. That in their books of chronicles, that the best success story that they want to tell as a legacy was how the Fulani took over Nigeria. And let me tell you, this thing started in.
You mean a sitting governor made this
Yes.
before the public?
Let me tell you, he said that they have invited Fulanis to come. That this should be their citadel where they can sit. So what this means is that when Fulanis are rejected in Ghana, hope that they come to Nigeria. This is your home. Uthman Danfodio, are you aware that Uthman Danfodio is the progenitor of Fulanis? Not only in Nigeria, progenitors of Fulanis. When he traveled all the way from Sudan down here, he dominated and he became an emperor. All right? The largest success or the largest victory that he ever had is in Nigeria. Uthman Danfodio. The largest victory Uthman Danfodio has, who is the father of Fulanis, is in Nigeria. And that is why till this very day, you can see that the Fulanis are sort of stepping over us. We have not been able to stop them even over 200 years. The Hausa people are gone. No more culture. You cannot find a Seriki in Kano. What you find in the north will be Emir. The Seriki are now ballers, who are now confined to just maybe about 4 or 5 streets.
And unfortunately, they are the original owners of Kano State, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina.
What we are facing, this threat that we are facing is a potential preoccupation of the Nigerian state. Nobody will be exempted. Whether you are Igbo man, whether you are a Yoruba person, the agenda is the preoccupation of all the bushes first. Bala Mohammed was asked, why should the Fulanis be occupying the bushes and the forest? He said that, but by the way, even the forest, if they are not there, nobody will be there. So why shouldn't they be there? Because they are utilizing it. He was asked, what do you mean you are utilizing the forest? Shouldn't you get an approval? He said that the Fulanis are global citizens. They don't need your permission.
Who made them global citizens? And why should they encroach over the western, southern regions without any approval? They have an expanse of land, and they claim to have the highest landmark in Nigeria. So isn't that enough for them to occupy?
I think that who made them a global citizen or the superior citizen of Nigeria, as the case is, has been well stated and be well proven that without the Fulanis, we would not have gotten our independence. I think that was the first story I shared with you. The British didn't give us independence until the Fulanis agreed. I think that is clear to you now that the British made them the superiors. The British called them into a room and told them, listen, I understand you guys are not educated. You are not as educated as the South. Is that not why we have the quota system? Is that not why we have the Federal Character Commission? Is that not why we have in the past whereby they said that the South is too educated, the South has occupied all the civil service? When Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa, when they started their northernization campaign, they said that all the Igbos must go back, that they cannot be occupying the civil service. And meanwhile, when the Igbos were in charge, when the Yorubas were in charge, Nigeria was extremely good. It was when we started injecting their incompetence into the system, everything became so corrupt. It is because of them that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today is incarcerated unjustly. It is because of these same Fulanis. Bashir Ahmed, the former special advisor on media to Buhari, came out and said that anybody that seeks for the release of freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is an enemy of Nigeria. That tells you that Nigeria belongs to Fulani. Anything that does not suit Fulani, Nigeria will not work. When the Fulani are not satisfied with a decision that is to be taken, Fulani, Nigeria will stand still. Let us start from the pre-colonial era, the pre-independence era, then post-independence era. You look at the people that has ruled Nigeria the most, you know that it is Fulanese. Why are they not allowing Nigeria to be free? Because they are hegemonies, because they are oligarchs, because they are tyrants, because they are invaders, and because they want to fulfill that agenda that was set into motion by 1804. As at 1849, when Uthman Danfodio went his Waterloo in Middlebelt, when he was poisoned by the Middlebelt female warriors, then he died. That agenda has been reignited as at 2015. You can see that since 2015, the prominence, the influence of the Fulanis has been sparked.
Honestly.
No, between the period of 1999 to 2014, we never had issues of Fulanis.
Exactly. In Nigeria.
The very day Buhari came, and Buhari said that I will have the rural grazing area, Ruga. He said I will have the rural grazing area, which is what Ruga. A female senator went to the Senate House and said that the Fulani man, his way of life, nobody can change it, and he has every right to rear his cattle, move his cattle across Nigeria because he's a citizen. Nobody can challenge him. They were asked, why should your cattle be encroaching people's farmland? You know what they said? They said that they are carrying out national projects. Do you understand what I mean? They said their cattle rearing is a federal government project, and they are federal government assets. I mean, ask yourself, a Sunday Jackson, who was the one that got provoked by a elder in his farm in Plateau State? They encroached his farm. He challenged them. They wanted to buy him. He fought back, and the Fulani headsman lost his life in that battle. They have condemned Sunday Jackson to death by hanging.
Somebody acting in self-defense of his inalienable right to life.
But the same judiciary will say that a Fulani bandit that was caught, let us what? Demilitarize him. Let us rehabilitate him. Let us reintegrate him. And maybe he can have an opportunity to become a governor. No wonder the likes of Bala and Mohammed are uttering such words from their mouth, that the Fulanis all across Africa should see Nigeria as their fatherland. Thank you very much.